If you're looking for incredible conversions of arcade fighting games, X marks the spot. Welcome to Guilty Gear X Advance Edition for the Game Boy Advance. One thing I would like to note, we're jacking this up to very hard. I think I'm a little confident in my abilities here. So, let's play the arcade mode and get started. This port feels impossible, like the Game Boy Advance is being pushed beyond its normal limitations. The music is good, the graphics are decent. For what they did for a Guilty Gear that pushed the franchise forward, wouldn't be the first time, it's very admirable. So, show of hands, what was your first introduction to the Guilty Gear series? Right here. This was it. I mean, most people had XR, some people might have had Strive, maybe even some people might have had Plus R, but me, no. So yeah, first opponent, never a big deal. The thing is, for the chiptune of the Game Boy Advance, this is really damn good. When I used to work internships back at college, this is embarrassing. When I used to work internships back at college, I had with me a Game Boy Advance, a pair of headphones, and the Guilty Gear X Advance sound test. It was a good time to be alive. So anywho, Guilty Gear X, the game itself. A 4-button fighter. You can press both punch and kick together for a special shield that blocks against chip damage. And push back and some other things. It's worth spending your meter to do so, but it's worth spending your meter to do so because this is Guilty Gear X. You get meter up the wazoo. You get meter just by dashing. So Kai is a really good character to start learning Guilty Gear with, especially if you're familiar with Street Fighter. His DPs come in ground and air flavor. His fireballs come in ground and air flavor. He has decent moves for closing the gap. He has some decent mid-range pokes as well. Yeah, no trouble at all. But this is the game I learned Guilty Gear with. I learned all about it, I learned its music, I learned its characters from this game. It wasn't until much later that I got X2 for the PlayStation 2, and that's when it truly began. Oh, what do you think you're doing? So there is a mechanic in Guilty Gear X known as the instant kill. In order for you to activate it, you need to change your meter to the instant kill meter. An action that is practically broadcast internationally. So that when you whip and fail, it's not if, not when. When you fail your instant kill, your meter is gone for the rest of the match. Not for the rest of the round, the rest of the match. There we go. A little something to let me know you're alive. I do want to take note of the Game Boy Advance's presentation here. You had the Game Boy Advance, which at the time wasn't the brightest console on the market, so naturally, Guilty Gear's backgrounds and overall look needed to get a little more brighter to accommodate for that. Boy, do I like the look of this game overall. You're not going to get the highly detailed sprites of the arcade game, but the effort they did, very respectable. Like, take a look at Faust's animations if you can, and if the game will allow it. Not a lot of frames missing, especially for his more dynamic specials. Plus, Guilty Gear X Advance has a few features that most of the console versions just don't have. For a game that's mostly going to be solitary, unless you know someone who's hardcore enough to own this version. This game contains a team-based 3-on-3 mode a la King of Fighters. One character gets knocked out, the other takes their place. It also includes a tag mode. You tag between characters. When one gets knocked out, the other takes their place, and you win when both characters on the team are knocked out. But that's not the craziest thing about that tag mode. It even has unique character interactions depending on the team you have. That's crazy. That's absolutely bonkers to me. Even the training mode emphasizes the tag mode, because you have to pick 2 characters for your training mode. Alright, gotta watch it. Yeah. The scaling on supers in this game. The scaling on supers in this game, you might as well not even super cancel. You're better off just doing raw supers in general. So yeah, but all the Guilty Gear gameplay is kind of here with no sacrifices. All the systems are here. All the combos are here. And Guilty Gear was already forgiving with combos, since it had things like Gatlings, where certain attacks just sort of flowed into each other. There's some notable slowdown in the music sometimes when the action gets a little intense or it's loading up a match, but it's noticeable for like half a second. Alright. Oh no, buddy, you ain't doing that. It feels like Guilty Gear X in general, it's just kind of forgotten. Because this was a unique version of Guilty Gear. It didn't just start at X2 or Accent Core or Reload. No, some of these ideas had to come from somewhere. There we go. No, you can't kick the projectile back at me. I keep harping on the music, but really, Guilty Gear X is some heavy, and I do emphasize heavy, metal rock. So even putting most of this together, the Game Boy Advance was known for stronger graphics, but their music was usually the weaker chip of the bunch. Boy, did those composers make lemonade out of lemons. It was arguably one of the most important parts of Guilty Gear's presentation, and they nailed it with precision. So here we have the typical hero, Soul bad guy. Ironic name. So when Soul and Kai fight, they usually have a unique battle theme to mark the occasion. Even Soul's, I don't know the lore too much, alternate self? Quarter Soul? Even has his own unique theme against Kai. Soul can get a little aggressive. It's kind of been his MO since day one. So you'll forgive me if I'll play a little aggressive to match. His wake-up game is no joke. Just trying to catch him swinging. They even added in the unique sprite animations for Kai when he beats Soul. They went above and beyond for this presentation. They could have cut some stuff out to make it fit on the cartridge, but no. So with everything I've been talking about with this game, graphics, music, overall presentation, overall authenticity, there have to be some sacrifices here, right? And yeah, there kind of is. It is sadly in the AI department. I've kind of been trying to stay quiet about it, but considering we're up against the mid-boss of the game, Testament, yeah. The AI in this game is kind of a comedy act. They're more defensive than offensive. And for someone like Testament, that's a blessing. I was playing a little bit of Strive last month due to the fact they had, like, a cross-play beta test, and every time I fought a Testament, they always gave me trouble. They always decided, no, you're not gonna play the game anymore. So, call this catharsis, if you will. Thank God for Stun. So thus we get to the final boss of the game, Dizzy. And thus we get to the best track in all of Guilty Gear. Take a listen to this theme. Ah. Pinnacle. The pinnacle of chiptune. Also, Kai just technically beat up his future wife, so... Man, Guilty Gear's characters go in weird directions. Kai especially. You could not have predicted his... You could not have predicted his future. Anywho, Guilty Gear X Advance. Despite the AI being comical at best and a punching bag at worst, this is an unbelievably faithful conversion. Like, just about everything is here. It obviously doesn't look as pretty as the arcade version, but considering what they were working with, this game is a miracle. It was definitely a part of what made the Game Boy Advance a pretty underrated platform for fighting games. And in a couple of days, we're going to take a look at its magnum opus. The impossible game. The Alpha. I can't use that anymore. It's Alpha 3!